Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your February 2020 romance horoscope for Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So if you are a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is for you. I am going to separate this out into 4 groups so you can go ahead and pick the group that resonates most with you. And I will leave timestamps down below so you can go right to your specific group. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. And of course, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. I'm going to go ahead and show you the groups now. So this first group that you can choose from will be the Jack of Diamonds. For the second group here, we have the Seven of Spades. For the third group, 2 cards came out, so either one that resonates with you. We have the Queen of Hearts and the King of Diamonds here. And for this last group, the Joker came out. So go ahead and choose which group resonates most with you. I'm going to go ahead and go right to the first group. So this is going to be if you picked the Jack of Diamonds. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what these cards look like. So starting off, we have the Ace of Swords. We have Materialism in reverse. Uranus. The Ten of Swords. The Emperor in reverse. And to end this out, we have Scorpio. So immediately there is a signaling of a fresh new start for many of you. If you are single and you're looking to be in a relationship, this is showing promise for a fresh new start for many of you. It is also showing some internal struggles going on that we're also going to discuss here that need to be addressed, need to be worked out before entering this relationship. And there is a lot here that is going to be a mirror, a lot to learn from being in this relationship. So we're going to take a look at this. So starting off for this first group, we have the Ace of Swords. And so this is a fresh new start as far as relationships go. Again, for many of you, if you are single, this is going to be a fresh new relationship. If you are in a relationship currently, there's something big about needing to change your perspective and needing to change your mindset as far as relationships go. And so there is going to be something big here about change, whether you are single or in a relationship, where you have to be willing to take on the change and take on the new beginning in order to move forward. And so there is a lot internally that needs to be addressed as well. And so continuing on, we do have the Materialism card in reverse. And if you follow the Rider Tarot deck, this is the Devil card as well. And so there is something big here about fears or doubts or inner insecurities. There is a lot here about not being willing to go for what you want, right? Many of you chained down to fears and insecurities and doubts. And so there's a lot here where we do need to take a look internally and make sure that everything is right there first. And so if you are dealing with any sort of doubts or insecurities, this will be the time that you really need to work through this so that you can make that internal change within yourself and accept this new beginning, this new offering as far as relationships go. And again, this is going to be whether you are single or in a relationship. For many of you, I am picking up on you being single, so there is some inner work that needs to be done in order to move into this space that is being offered to you. And speaking of change, we do have Uranus come up here, where once again there is some change that needs to take place. There is something big here about freedom and liberation, where if you were holding on to all of these fears, these insecurities that we saw come up with this materialism card, there's something big where you can't hold the space to enter something that is great, to enter something that you are seeking, because you do need to let go, you need to release. You have to be willing to let go in order to move into this new space. And so for many of you, there is something big here about letting go, releasing of what no longer serves you, making this change within yourself so that you can make the space, make the room for this beautiful opportunity to manifest. And we do have the Ten of Swords here, where this is a completion point. And so once again, there is a release that needs to take place. And a lot of this has to do with the mind, right? A lot of fears, a lot of insecurities, a lot of belief systems, a lot of perspectives that are old and outdated that no longer serve you. And so once again, there is something big here about clearing out, making space for this fresh new start, this change, this new beginning that is here waiting for you. And so this is where, for a lot of you, there's a lot that you need to clear out, clean out, that doesn't belong to you, that doesn't serve you, that isn't beneficial towards this relationship. And so it is time to clear out, to clean out everything that no longer serves you and that actually blocks you from receiving what it is that you are seeking. And so this does require taking time within yourself and doing some self-reflection. There's something big about this Ten of Swords that is bringing up a reflection within yourself. And for many of you, when you do enter this relationship, there is something big where this is going to be a mirror back to you of what is going on within you. And so there is a big call here for you to look at yourself and to work internally first before going ahead and moving along with this relationship. And once again, with the Emperor in reverse, very similar to this materialism card, where many of you have these fears, these doubts, these worries. This is asking you to claim your power, to claim your confidence, to stand in your authority. And so how can you empower yourself and release these old limitations and restrictions and doubts and fears and worries that are chaining you down and limiting you from standing in your true power and dignity? And once again, with Scorpio here, there is a big call to go within. There's a big call to look at your own depth, your own darkness, everything that you were going through internally. And there is something big about Scorpio that is darkness, but that darkness is going to be the hidden parts of yourself that have not been addressed, that are not secure. So there's something big here about insecurities and about going in and really taking a look and working on yourself. And with this does come a relationship that does hold a lot of emotional depth and intimacy. And so there is something here where many of you have to find that intimacy within yourself in order to enter into and be a part of this relationship that is offering you this true depth and intimacy that truly does serve you and fulfill you emotionally within your life. And for many of you, you are dealing with a Scorpio. Some of you do have this Scorpio energy within your chart as well, but there is something big here about this Scorpio energy that is going in internally and going through this personal transformation so that you can stand in your power. So that was for the first group. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the second group. So this is if you pick the 7 of Spades and you are a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what these cards look like. So we have the King of Cups in reverse. We have Transition in reverse. We have Venus in reverse. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. We have the 2 of Swords, and to end this out, we have Mars. So immediately there is a lot here about being the master of your own security and emotional fulfillment. And big time, there's a lot here about emotional security and about being open, being expressive, being willing to be vulnerable here. So there's a lot going on as far as connection, as far as showing your true feelings. And for many of you, this requires going in and going through a personal transformation, because there is a lot here where you do have to master being vulnerable, being open, being expressive. And this does come to a major point of a choice, a decision to be bold, to be confident, to go for what it is that you want. And so there is a big story here about being guarded and being hesitant, not being willing to be open. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. So starting off with the King of Cups here, you have to be someone who is mastering your emotional security. You have to be someone who has mastered this ability to feel and observe and express yourself fully. And so there is something here about holding back. There is something here about not being willing to be vulnerable and being open to your partner. And so there is a big story for this group where you have to learn to be more open. And so this does require a complete transformation of self. This does require you to go in and take a look at yourself and make the changes that are necessary in order to be more comfortable, more secure within yourself, to express and be open with your partner and with your future partner for some of you. But there is something big here about holding back, being stuck in a fear mentality of not wanting to express and come out about what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're going through. There's a lot here about being vulnerable, being open, being expressive. And with Venus here in reverse, Venus is your ruler, but there's something here about how I am picking up on more of a Taurus energy of security. There's something big here about security and about this true connection And so there is something big where many of you are seeking out this feeling of safety and security, but there's something big where this really comes out in this connection, in this openness to express and really connect with your partner. So there is a lot here about being open and affectionate and expressive about what it is that you're feeling and going through. And again, with the Four of Swords, for many of you, you are guarding yourselves. You are putting up a wall in terms of speaking your truth, expressing yourself, coming out and communicating what it is that you're feeling. And so there is something big here about a feeling of insecurity, a feeling of not being safe or comfortable in fully expressing and speaking your truth. So this is an area where, for many of you, you have to go within once again and heal these old wounds, heal these belief systems, heal these areas where it is difficult for you to express and to come out about what it is that you are going through. Every area that you are guarded is an area that you need to go in and take a look at why these guards are up. Take a look at why this wall is up. And as you come up with the reasoning behind this, there's something big about changing the perspective and the programming that you have in this area so that you can open up and be more expressive and more connected to your partner. And it is a major choice and decision within yourself to go through this. There is something big here about willingness to do this, to make this choice, this decision. Because this is something where, for many of you, you are holding yourself back. You are putting yourself in this space of overthinking, of overanalyzing. And there is something big here about procrastinating, about avoiding this choice or decision that's major here. And it is a choice of, once again, expressing yourself, having that confidence and that assertiveness to go for what it is that you want or need to express to your partner, not holding back, coming out fully. And so it does take this level of confidence and assertiveness to fully be expressive. And so this is something where this does require action within yourself. There is something big about how Mars is a personal planet that is about the action steps and the passion and the expression, the willpower to take the initiative to do something, to act on this. And so again, there is something big here about this group that is procrastination or avoidance of what you know that you need to do or face here. So there's something here where you really need to take a look at yourself and be willing to take the action steps to move forward in this process. Make that choice within yourself to be open and expressive, to be honest, to speak your truth, to have the confidence to stand up and do what you know is necessary. So this is for the second group. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third group now. So this will be if you picked the King of Diamonds or the Queen of Hearts. I'm going to go ahead and show you the cards. So we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. Cancer in reverse. Taurus in reverse. Earth. Saturn. The Four of Cups. The Page of Wands. And we ended out with the Sun in reverse. So there's a lot going on for this group if you pick this group. There's something big here about not putting all the pieces together, not coming up with the ultimate choice that leads you to your victory, that leads you to the position that you are looking for in this relationship. And there is something big about avoidance or not accepting what is in front of you. And so many of you not going after what it is that you want or you desire, that you know is right for you. And so there is something huge about this group that is stubborn, that is hesitant, that is stuck. So we're going to get into this. So starting off with the with the Eight of Wands. There's something where this doesn't feel right now. There's something where it feels like the pieces are out of place. Things are not working out. Right? There's something big about seeing things falling apart with this Eight of Wands. And for many of you, this is you not putting the pieces together, you not taking the steps that are necessary, once again, to put this whole thing together the way that you know is right for you. And so there's a big thing here about hesitation. And for many of you, you're not willing to wait for something that is right for you. There's something big here about leaping into something without first looking at everything that you want, looking at putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And so if you are leaping into something that you don't really want, something that doesn't really work for you, there is something big here about how this is majorly going to fall apart and collapse before your eyes. Because for many of you, there is a major choice and decision that is right for you that you have to choose and pick within yourself. And so with this Six of Wands in reverse, many of you are not going to come out victorious because you are not making the choice that you intuitively know is right for you. You're not going for what you know is of the highest value for you. And again, it goes back to this Eight of Wands where some of you are rushing in to something that you know isn't right for you. Some of you are not willing to wait until all of the pieces fall into place as they should. And again, some of you not going in the direction of feeling your emotional needs. And many of you not following your intuition and what your heart is telling you about what is right for you, what is fulfilling for you. Right? Many of you very stubborn about having this physical relationship, this physical story about this relationship without really having all of the needs and the values and the priorities in check, in focus, the way that it should be. And so there is something big about Taurus and Cancer being about the security and the needs and having all of that in order. And so there is a big question here about if this is really of the highest value for you. Because with Taurus in reverse here, there's something big where this Taurus energy is of building off of a foundation that is of value to you, that does hold meaning to you. But for many of you, there's something here where you are stubborn and stuck in building a foundation without waiting for it to be something that is of the greatest value to you. And with Earth here, there is something big about having patience, about taking your time to be practical and to go for something that is of the highest value for you. And so the question becomes, where are you building your foundation off of? Is it something that serves and benefits you to the highest, greatest good? Are you willing to be patient? Are you willing to wait and to not jump into an emotional urge or an emotional desire that doesn't actually fulfill you? Because with Saturn here, it does feel for many of you that you are stuck, that you are caged up and trapped in this relationship. And so for many of you, you are not feeling this freedom that you are meant to have in this relationship. Feels very controlling, feels very much about how it physically looks, about this position or this role to show off, just to have. And so there is something major here about how the moon is the opposite of Saturn. And so there is something here where you have to make sure that the emotional fulfillment is here, that the connection, that the true values and needs, the true security is here, because there is something big about how this is a stuck position for many of you. This is just a role that is being played for many of you. And with the Four of Cups here, many of you are not taking the offering that Spirit is giving you. So there is another option here that is better for you, that is fulfilling for you, that is secure for you. But once again, many of you don't have the patience to allow all of the pieces to be put in place. And so there is something big here about ignoring the offering that's being given to you and just doing your own thing that you know isn't good for you, that you know isn't of the highest value to you, that you know isn't fulfilling for you. And so once again, going back to that Cancer card and to that Six of Wands, there's something big where for this group you have to follow your intuition. You have to follow your inner knowing about what you know is of value to you, what you know is the right choice for you. And you have to be willing to be patient. You have to be willing to build this foundation to make sure that everything is of the highest value for you. Because with the Page of Wands here in reverse, many of you are not doing what you love. Many of you are not in a relationship that you love, that you are passionate and excited to be in. There's something big here about how, once again, this feels like a prison. This feels like just playing a role, just physically having this. And there is a lack of this joy, this enthusiasm, this love within the relationship. And this is supported here by the Sun card in reverse, where you have to do what you love, you have to do what you're passionate about, you have to do what brings you that joy within this relationship. And so for many of you, once again, there's something big about making sure that this is of the highest value to you, making sure that this is something fun, that this is something that brings joy to you, and that it's not just a physical role that you are feeling. So that was for the third group. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the fourth group. So this is the last group here. This is if you pick the Joker and you are a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is for you. I'm going to go ahead and show you the cards. So we have the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, Neptune, the Queen of Swords, the Hanged Man, and to finish it out, we have Capricorn. And so immediately there's a lot here about commitment and security and having something that is stable. There's a lot here about standing by your truth, standing by your values. And there is something big here about fulfilling your dreams versus having this fantasy of what you want it to look like. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. So starting off, we have the Five of Pentacles, where you are being given, whether you are single or in a relationship, you are being given the tools and the security that is needed within yourself. And this can feel very, very confusing. You can be very unaware of this as you are going through major changes, you are going through shifts within yourself. But there's something about this where these changes are being made to give you the security and the stability that you are looking for within yourself. And so all of the steps that you have taken to bring this balance, this security into your life, this is being fulfilled within yourself. And so immediately there is something big here about not seeking that security with outside of yourself, but within yourself. And we do come to the Six of Pentacles, where there is a big question about what are you participating in? Is it in sync with that security and those values that are within you? There is something here where sharing the same values, sharing the same expectations within this relationship is going to be big for you. And so there is something big here about this being a soulmate or a karmic partner, as there are going to be many similarities that you're going to share. And there is something big here about looking within yourself and seeing, are you just going along with this partner, or are you standing in your own truth, your own values? And so, once again, there's something big here about making sure that you're establishing this security and these values within yourself before going out and trying to find it in this partner. Because it isn't a fantasy or an illusion to think that, yes, you are going to find this security within someone else. And so there is something big here with Neptune that is about going within yourself and pulling on your own inspiration, pulling on your own dreams, your own values of what you want to manifest and succeed in life, and not relying on this partner's dreams or how this partner wants to see it or wants it to be. And so again, there's something big with this group about not leaning on a partner and being able to establish this security within yourself first. And this comes through big with the Queen of Swords, where it is asking you to stand by your own truth, to stand by your own belief systems, and so are you able to stand on your own? Are you able to get through your own difficulties and struggles and to farm your own security, to bring in your own needs and desires without the assistance of someone else? Because this is becoming very heavily known to you that if you are relying on a partner and this does come to an end, which it will for some of you, which comes through very strongly with that Six of Pentacles, that it will be difficult for you if you are relying on the security of this partner. So there's something big about standing on your own with this group. So with the Hangman, what are you within yourself willing to tie yourself down to? Where is that security and that commitment within yourself? And that is something to find before trying to commit to someone else. And this is supported heavily by Capricorn here, where this is about you claiming the authority and the position and the role within yourself, being your greatest version, farming that security and having that victory for yourself, overcoming those challenges by working hard and forming that discipline within you and not relying on someone else. There's nothing in this group, there's nothing about this that is going to be handed to you. And so there is something big about being able to stand on your own. So that is for the fourth group. For the last group here, thanks so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.